Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy DJ TLM. You're watching DJ TLM TV, and this is Making the Mixtape second video. And today I want to talk to you about track selection. I'm going to do my track selection for my new mixtape tonight, and I'm going to have the camera rolling so you can watch me do my thing, and you're going to find the link in the description down below to that video. Now, the track selection is a very important part of making a mixtape because your track selection is going to define the message of your mixtape. You want to bring across a certain message with your mixtape. Your mixtape is a promo tool. It's a promo tool for DJs. I mean, that's the way I use mixtapes, and a lot of DJs use mixtapes. You want the mixtape to show people what you do. You want them to hear your style, your flavor, your skill, and the technical aspect is, of course, important. You want the mixtape to be clean. You want your mixes to be tight. You want your levels to be right. You want your scratches. If you're doing scratches, you want your scratches to be in there the right way. All of that. But at the end of the day, for a lot of people, your song selection is what's going to attract them to the mixtape, or it's going to turn them away. It's going to define your personal preference and your vibe. And if they're turned away from the mixtape, it doesn't mean that your mixtape is bad. Don't get me wrong, because if you're doing it right, then you're bringing across your style, and your style is not going to be for everyone. I have a lot of mixtapes out there, hip-hop mixtapes. If I give them to a lot of people, they're not going to like it because they're not into that type of hip-hop. That does not make the mixtapes bad. It just means that it's not for them. But for the people who like that type of music, when they hear those mixtapes, they're going to be like, yeah, this is my stuff. So think about your message. And the message isn't just about what type of music you like to play, but it's also about what type of vibe you want to represent on your mixtape. You could have a mixtape that's made to be lounging in the sun. We have some nice sunshine out here right now. It's wintertime. Gotta love that. But imagine you can make a mixtape that's all about being laid back in the sun, whatever, having a good time, feeling all right, mellow. That could be your message for your mixtape. And a lot of people could like that. They could be playing that in the daytime when they're in the house and they have the windows open, it's nice weather, whatever. Or you could have a mixtape that's all about energy. You want a mixtape that people are going to play when they're in the gym, going all out with the weights and listen to your stuff, or they're doing whatever, an insanity workout, and they're listening to your mix in the background because it's all energetic and hype. So it depends on what genres you want to put in there, but also the vibe. And that's something that's personal for you. And don't get me wrong, it's not just about having one style. You could represent that mellow style on one tape, and you could do some hype party stuff on a different mix. It's all about what you want the message to be. That's what you have to think about. So once you know what you want to represent, and in my case for this new mixtape, I want to represent the thing that I always used to represent, and that is playing new stuff. On all my old mixtapes, I was playing the new stuff, or the newest stuff out there. First hip-hop tapes, and after that hip-hop and R&B tapes. But like I said in the first video, in the last couple of years, my mixtapes were mostly 90s hip-hop and R&B. It just turned out that way. I was doing a lot of parties that were like 90s hip-hop and R&B, New Jack Swing, stuff like that. So some of the mixtapes were to promote the parties. And if you're doing a mixtape to promote a party with a certain theme, then your mixtape selection is also going to be similar to that theme. So anyway, most of my last mixtapes were 90s hip-hop R&B. I love that era. It's my favorite era. And I know my stuff when it comes to that era. But it only highlights a certain part of my skill set. So for me, the message with the new tape is, don't get it twisted. I still play the new stuff like I have always done, just to remind people who used to listen to me, and also for people who are discovering me now. And if they go to my website, they can find the old school tapes. That's all cool, but I also want to make sure that they find the mixes with the new stuff, so they know, okay, this guy is up to date as well. So that's my message. Then I have to think about the vibe, and I already know a lot of my mixtapes, I have a build up. So I might start a little bit mellow, then take it up a notch and increase the energy. And I'm still thinking it might turn out that way, or it might start a little bit higher already with a little more energy, just straight away start with bangers. So I'll leave that open for now because I'm not sure. So my selection is going to be even wider. I'm going to broaden it a little bit and also pick some mellow tunes as well. And when I make the final selection, if I see that I have enough mellow tunes as well, then I'll add that to the vibe, and otherwise it's going to be straight up bangers. So I know the message for my tape, so now I can start with my selection. You have to think about your message, and then you can start with your selection. So now you're going to check out which genres am I using, which era, old, new, both, and what's going to be the energy. Is it going to be a build up? Is it going to be just mellow, or is it going to be high energy? All up to you. So what I do now is I make a pre-selection. That's going to be quite a big selection where I take a lot of albums, just take the whole album from an artist that I know that I'm going to probably include in the mixtape because I know their style of music. So now I have one big flash drive filled with albums that I took from the other computer, just put it in this computer, and I'm going to go through all those albums, check out the songs, and pick out 1, 2, 3, or even 4 songs that I like, put them in a folder. I also have one folder with just loose songs already that I've downloaded or from some DJ pools and stuff like that, some blogs, and I'm going to go through those as well. But I'm going to make a big selection, more songs that I can fit on the mixtape, because you're going to find out if you only select like whatever 10 or 20 tracks, however short or long you want to make your mixtape, you're going to have to work with just those tracks. And I don't want to be limited again. So I'm going to make my selection big, my pre-selection. After that, I'm going to shrink it down because I'm going to start looking at the BPM as well, the tempo of the tracks. And I'm going to try to see if I can make my first sketch to see which songs would fit together tempo-wise. Because you don't want to have songs that are 80 BPM and songs that are 100 and put them next to each other, because that transition is going to be harder to do. And I want it to be either in that line or slowly going up. So I'm not going to do from 80 to 100 BPM to 70 to 120. I'm going to try and make a nice line. So I check BPMs so I can start making my first sketch. Now from that, I'm gonna make a more final selection. Not the final selection yet. I might keep my options open a little bit, but you're gonna take out a lot of songs that you know that you're not gonna fit in there, and you're gonna end up with a folder with a nice amount of songs, enough songs to fill the mixtape, and maybe 10 or 20 songs more. That's the way I do it. I don't say you have to do it like that, but that's what I do, because that way I always have room that if I find out that I actually don't like the mix between 2 songs and I might want to put something else there, I still have 10 or 20 backup songs that I can use to put into place. So that's basically it when it comes to selection. And I think I made my way of doing it clear. Thinking about the message, then I know what I'm looking for. Then I make my pre-selection, big selection, shrink it down to a smaller selection, and then I end up with a folder of tracks that I'm going to use, and then it's on to the next step. So I hope that helps you out. And like I said, check the description. You're going to find that link, because once again, I'm going to show you how I'm doing my selection, but in that footage, I'm going to be using music that's not mine, so I can't put it on my DJ TLMTV channel. So you're going to find that on my website, and just going to give you a peek so you can see what I do. It's not going to be that entertaining because I'm going to be going through folders listening to songs, but I'll give you some commentary while I'm doing it. So I hope you're going to like that. It's a different approach. I wanted to see if that works. So if you liked it, click like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I want to thank you guys for the support. And I mean that because you guys are giving me great feedback. Keep on giving me that feedback. And if you have any questions, just email me, djtlmtv@djtlm.com. Check the website, djtlmtv.com. And stay tuned. I know I've been late with a couple of videos. Not that I set a certain date, but you already need to have at least a couple more tutorials from me. So I'm going to try and make more time and work hard on that. All right, guys. Once again, thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon. Peace.